would love for the audience to be inspired, not only just from the watching the animal or the female leaders that they get to see from the animal world, but also inspired by the women that are featured in the Behind the Queens episode. And for them to feel inspired, not only to do what we're doing, but to think beyond that, to be inspired to be scientists, researchers, to invent new technology to film some of these animals. So I want them to be inspired.
Yeah, I want that, what she said, without a doubt. Faith is absolutely on it, but I also want to see these stories. Queens portrays all these incredibly powerful female leaders and how they lead, and they lead in different ways, and saying that that's maybe what the world also needs right now, and maybe a different style of leadership. Maybe that's something else we could take away with.
Yeah, I was the photographer who shot the magazine story, but as far as the series goes, I think that it really introduces the public to nature in a totally new and fresh way. And it's so important to get people to fall in love with nature so that they want to protect it. And this series does that in a way that we've really never seen before.
For each one of you in doing this project, I know there were many things, hurdles maybe coming and going. What were some of the things that you encountered that you felt, okay, I'm going to fight for this because it has to be done that way?
Ethiopia actually is a very good example of that. For Mountain Queens, we started the project and then the war broke out. And so that was obviously horrendous for the people of Ethiopia. And also it was a challenge we hadn't expected. But we hope we did justice to the wolves and the geladas. Certainly it was one of my most special memories, was spending time up in the mountains with them. What about you, Faith?
I'd have to say the pandemic, because we started filming, or the series was meant to roll out before the pandemic began, and then that took everyone by surprise, right? And I think probably more than 3/4 of other production companies that do films like this put a stop on all the shoots, and they said, all right, we're just gonna stop for a while and then wait for the pandemic. But then with Queens, we went ahead. So that was a massive challenge as it was, because the intentionality of the series was to do things differently. And personally for me, it meant using people like me. I'm Kenyan. I lived in Kenya. I happened to be at the right place at the right time. But with
very talented. Hold on. Hold on.
but with not the I don't want to say the wrong experience, but not with the right experience, because I'd never worked on a series of this caliber before. But then the Queen's team was going ahead, and they selected me to be in the field. So I really fought hard to kind of show that I can do this, that we can move forward. You can use local filmmakers, and we can be successful, because at the time there was a big question mark. There was a genuine fear with leaving something like this in the locals' hands. And the faith, I know I say faith, I'm Faith, but the faith paid off, because the shoot went well, and then fairly soon enough borders opened up, Sophie could fly into the field and we could continue.
We could work together in person. But the absolute icing on the cake, and the cherry, which I think is the thing to really shout about, is that with Queens we wanted to not only show female leadership in nature, but also behind the camera and in the production. And Faith started out on the Savannah Queens episode about elephants as a field producer, and ended up being the producer director for Behind the Queens, which in my opinion is the one that I just love, because it shows all the intentionality, but also not only the animals, but what Queens did and what it wanted to do and its legacy it wanted to leave. And you were the PD on that. So I'm like, yes.
I was.
Jen, you start.
Oh no.
Oh yes, Jen, it's on you.
Wow.
You can start then.
I'd say fresh and inspiring.
Beautiful.
I'd say life-changing and extraordinary.
And I'd say trailblazing and revelatory.
And they're all those things. And thank you so much for this amazing series. I can watch it over and over again, and you guys have done a brilliant job. And let's spread the word. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's really kind.
Yeah.